Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword. Gene is off tonight learning new words, and so I am doing solo duty for Monday, November 10th, 2025. I was able to get through this crossword fairly expeditiously. It was a Monday, and it always feels good when I put in the last letter and I get the happy music, because that happens surprisingly rarely. In any event, today's crossword was by Zuquin Bernikel. This is her 83rd. She has been doing crosswords for the New York Times since 2012. And of those 83 crosswords, 29 appeared on Monday and 22 appeared on Tuesday. So this appears to be her favorite time of the week, although honestly, she's got 11 Fridays and 3 Saturdays under her belt. But this being a Monday and this being the most frequent day of the week for her to get published, you know you are in good hands. The crossword grid is not the usual 15 by 15. This seems to have an extra row, I believe, in order to accommodate the themed answer. So we should talk about the theme. And it's fairly easy to see that there was going to be a theme here because there were several circled squares in 4 of the answers. And those all, when filled in, tied into the theme. The theme being 39 across, leave it to me, and a hint to the circled letters in this puzzle. And the answer to leave it to me was, I've got you covered. And if you look at 18 across to start, Roman Forum greeting, that was Hail Caesar. The H, the A, the I, and the R, the H-A-I of Hail, of course, and the R of Caesar were circled, and that spells hair. Then we have 23 across, head rubs that relieve tension. I could not think of this for a bit, but I got a couple of crosses and then was able to hone in on scalp massages. And in that answer, the S-C-A-L of scalp and the E-S of massages were circled, and that gives you scales. So for those of you keeping track, so far we've had hair and scales. The next themed answer came from 51 across, people spouting zealous rhetoric. FIREBREATHERS. What a great phrase. And the F of fire and the E-A-T-H-E-R-S of breathers, those were all circled, and that spells out feathers. And finally, we have 63 across, brief period of time, short spell. And there, the S-H of short and the E-L-L of spell were circled, and that gives you shell. So we had, to summarize, hair, scales, feathers, and shell, which are, of course, things that might cover up various living beings. Hair, scale, feathers, and shell. Certainly makes sense to me. So that was the themed answer. Cute, not too difficult, but again, it's a Monday, so we're not expecting it to be terrifically difficult. One across, actually, I was sort of not sure what to do with one across. Beginnings of days. So I thought, well, let's see, you've got Sunday, you got Monday. Turns out it was dawns. And eventually the answer dawned on me after I got a couple of the crosses. To be honest, we had 9 across, pirate stop, avast. I'm not sure if that's really how it should be pronounced, but I'm going with avast. And then right underneath it, we had 16 across, diddly squat was zippo. I sort of like that answer there. We've seen this clue before, or at least this answer before, Santa Baby singer Eartha, and that was Eartha Kitt. And that was sort of a fun answer there. We had 32 across, comfort in hard times, and that was solace. And I took solace in the fact that I was able to figure out solace. We had Matador's opponent, 44 across. I was going for Torito or something. I'm not sure what I was going for, but the answer in any event turned out to be El Toro. We just finished seeing this in the grid. 49 across, form a clump, and that was clot. When Jean was last here, she was ruining the fact that she had figured out blot for some answer and eventually had to backpedal to get clot. We had 3 down, isn't this pleasant? And the answer is, what a treat, which is exactly how I would characterize this crossword. Quite the treat. We had 61 across. That was weapons used in many duels, and that was pistols. And that crossed 47 down, Pure Leaf Tea Distributor. And of course, well, I shouldn't say of course, but that turned out to be Lipton. We had Bit of Advice. That was a tip. Crossing with 58 down, Small Recipe Amounts, or AMTS, amounts, short for amounts. And that was TSPS, short for teaspoons. And we actually did have spoon. So we actually had TSPS going down, 58 down, and then coming off of the last S of teaspoons, we had 69 across, utensil in a soup bowl, spoon. It was sort of our cooking area of the grid, I guess. We had sound in a broadcast, 65 across was audio, and mentions directly on X. I went for DMs, but it turned out to be ATS, ATS. And I guess that really does make more sense. Let's see. Possible outcome of a bad sprain. Listeners, I hope this doesn't happen to you. 28 down. Torn tendon. And we also had Lhasa blank, 11 down. Lhasa apso, which we have definitely seen before. In terms, in case you were wondering, of debut answers, we had 4 of them. And they were all related to the theme. Scalp massages, I've Got You Covered, Fire Breathers, and Short Spell. So, let's see, what else do we have here? 42 down was battery unit. And I was sure that was going to be cell because the third letter was L from coming out of clot. But that turned out to be volt, which is also, of course, a battery unit. A couple more clues worth mentioning. 22 across Toronto's province. Abra was Ont, short for Ontario. We just saw Toronto the other day where they had lost the onto of Toronto. And we also had, 29 down, fencing sword was épée. So once again, épée has made an appearance. Not surprising. For those of you keeping track, épée has appeared 749 times. Just astonishing. Anyway, that is it for today. Thanks everyone for listening. Hopefully Gene will be back to talk about tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.